Welcome back to part two of the SAGG CTSXHP review. So talking about the profile. Again, no belly. I really like that. The nice pointy tip here, obviously, with this knife. And I really do find that a good pointier tip, plenty of distance from the tip of the blade, being narrow, really makes a knife that much more useful. Like versus say something like this SE3 here. And that's just, obviously for me. Very thick tip, though, as far from a grind standpoint, okay? Moving on to the grind here, you know, the grind starts very, very, like, very deep, really, and then shallows out considerably, making it pretty thin behind the edge here towards the guard, and very thick behind the edge here out towards the tip. And I mean, it just kind of, again, it is what it is. It's a jack of all trades kind of design. Stout uh, being the biggest jack. So the very thick tip, guys, is going to hinder some cutting tasks. Okay, just to kind of use this pin here as for an example here. Up here towards the guard, all right, I'm able to use a pretty shallow angle here, and I'm able to shave off. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm able to fairly easily shave off this this pin here a little bit. As I approach the tip, all right, and the angle changes on this edge grind here, on the edge I'm talking about now, I really have to kick it up to a much more obtuse angle in order to shave off this pin. Okay, so less usability there. Okay, and it also requires more pressure against this instead of up. I'm not sure if that totally makes sense, but that just kind of, again, is what it is. I feel like the knife would cut better, perform better, if this entire edge was, say, 35 degrees, 40 degrees even, something like that. I feel like it would be a little bit better. So because, the angle does start at around 35 and then goes to 40 degrees here, which is real common with striders, what you get is really good cutting ability here towards the guard, and then really a lot of stoutness out towards the tip, where it may or may not be necessary. Again, is what it is. Okay. This does make it very difficult to sharpen. Once again, though, all right, just changing that angle and getting used to changing that angle is difficult to sharpen. Okay. So you need the more you have to change this angle, the more force you need. Again, all right. Depending on the media you're going to cut at any given time, that may cause you to kind of crush what you're cutting as opposed to cutting through it. So it's important to slice with this knife rather than try and push cut. Okay. So it kind of is what it is. Performance from a performance standpoint, this knife is a fantastic everyday carry. Okay, very comfortable, very easy to carry. All right, very stout. It's kind of a do everything knife. Might not do everything well, but it is kind of a do everything, do anything small knife for a small knife. Okay, love the handle real estate. Not a fan of the jimping. As far as performance goes, I put this knife through tasks both brutal and ordinary, and so for like ordinary everyday carry, lots of food and veggie preparation, and it performs as you would expect. Not terrible, but not great either. All right, but again, not terrible. All right, so I've cut plastic both thick and thin, and as you would expect, a lot of resistance for things that are difficult to cut. I've cut lots of packaging, paper, things like that, just screwing around. I sliced open 30 bags of Quickcrete. in the style of using a piece of rebar. You cut the Quikrete bag open right down the middle of the sack, right, and then lift up on both sides to split the bag open right in the middle. So that's brutal. All right, you're basically cutting rocks. All right, I basically was cutting rocks with this knife. I cut 30 bags of the Quikrete, and I was really happy with the performance of the knife. It's interesting, you know, this steel, it retains an absolutely excellent working edge. Okay, it becomes very micro serrated. All right, and I found that it still cut very well. It still was an excellent performing knife even after cutting through all the aggregate and the Quikrete bags. Okay, so in that sharpening, very difficult to restore the edge. Very difficult, okay, to get it back to, you know, for instance, I can shave this pin now, you know, very easily shave this pin now. All right. But it's not that bad to touch up, okay? Just little touch-ups have been just fine, okay? As far as competition goes, I mean, might as well stack this knife up against a couple other knives. I used a Spyderco Military to open 90 bags of Quikrete, okay? And the performance was very similar, but much, much easier to restore the edge on it. And that's just probably going back to the geometry, okay? And just kind of you know, circumstantial possibility, all right, maybe. As far as just stacking this knife toe to toe with other knives, I've kind of stacked it against the SE3 with kind of shaving and just kind of like, you know, bushcrafty type stuff with wood is what I was doing this morning. The SE3 easily outcuts this knife, okay? As far as usable angles, less drag, things like that, okay? The SE3 is more comfortable in the hand for hard use, okay? Wood, hard plastic, things like that. The SA is easier to carry. The SA is stainless, and the SA is likely more durable, okay? And I also put it up against the SNG because I feel like that's more or less fair, all right? I can't put it up against my only other fixed blade, a scrapyard LMAX with a vapor grind. Okay, that's not fair, all right? But up to the SNG, SNG easily outcuts the SA, all right? Usable angles, less drag, again. As far as carry, I would say they're equal. The SNG is a tad bulky in the pocket, but the SA disappears on your belt, okay? The SA is going to be a little more durable, probably a lot more durable, and the SA is certainly easier to clean, okay? The sheath on this knife, I love Strider's sheaths. I love Strider's Kydex designs, okay? Snug fit, compact carry, and I really like the tech lock, okay? No weep hole on this sheath, though, okay? Keeps in water and dirt, makes it difficult to clean, all right? And it scratches the shit out of the blade, all right? Like you can see, I don't know if you can see here or not, but some pretty significant gouges from this sheath, all right? Which I've not noted really, even with other Kydex and S30V knives, okay? And in summary, guys, you know, this is a small, durable fixed blade that really shines at these aspects, okay? And it's very usable otherwise, all right? Fantastic everyday carry knife. Really, really good. I would choose a larger bladed, thinner ground knife for like a camp knife, you know, kind of a do-all knife, really. Like just an outstanding do-all knife where like stainless is not necessary, carryability is not that important, and things like that. But personally, I really, really enjoy this knife. Overall, considering carryability, considering usability, it may actually be my favorite fixed blade knife that I've owned personally. Okay, excellent everyday carry fixed blade right here. So that's kind of it, guys. Kind of take that for what it is. And questions, comments, concerns, all that good stuff, please post it below. Otherwise, palabra a tu madre, and don't let your meatloaf, boys.